today's rapidly changing world, training and retraining are essential components of building a skilled, competent, and formidable workforce. By training the workforce, it will help in adapting to new challenges and effective management of public resources and regulations. It will also help in updating their skills and knowledge for world best practices. In Ogun State, the Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration, since assumed office, has prioritized the development of the state workforce through series of training and retraining aimed at improving the skills and capabilities of public servants. Recently, the state government, through the Bureau of Establishment and Training and the Office of the Head of Service, organized a 2-day training for head of departments and management staff on effective management of public resources at Obas Complex, Okemoson in Abeokuta. The training is aimed at equipping officers with the necessary skills to identify and prioritize key areas at spending and evaluating the impact of decisions as well as management of public resources. The Ogun State Head of Service, Mr. Kehinde Onosia, while declaring the training open, says the essence of the training is to improve the knowledge of the participants on the management of public resources.
Training and retraining of our workforce has been a cardinal objective on scheme of things as head of service, and as we all know, capacity building is very critical and indeed instrumental to enhancing operational effectiveness of government business. Permit me to say that it is also my desire to introduce more training policies that will continue to enhance the capacity of the state workforce. As an insight, this training seemed efficient management of public resources was packaged with the aim of improving the knowledge of participants on public resources management, following the experiences of our heads of departments while appearing before the State House of Assembly, and which is in connection with the auditor's report on the activities in their respective NDAs. As a matter of fact, information at my disposal has shown that there were little infractions bordering on retirement of expected funds with the house paid and hammered on.
He urged those responsible for managing public funds to adopt transparency in their transactions.
We all agree with me that public resources, whether financial, natural or human, constitute the lifeblood of our collective well-being and represent tangible manifestations of the social contract between the citizens and their government. However, the mismanagement or inefficient utilization of these resources not only undermines the integrity of governance, but also perpetuates inequalities and impedes our quest for prosperity. It therefore becomes incumbent on accounting officers, heads of departments, and all public office holders who are custodians of public funds to ensure that every penny and every ounce of human capital is utilized judiciously and transparently. Suffice to mention that efficient resource management is not solely about frugality or cost-cutting measures. It is about optimizing the impact of every resource expended. Whatever is invested in education to empower future generations, maintaining critical infrastructure to facilitate commerce, or conserving natural ecosystems to preserve biodiversity, every decision regarding resource allocation should be guided by a commitment to a long-term sustainability and equitable outcomes.
The head of service expressed government's determination as supporting the state workforce always in their roles.
Permit me to commend the efforts of all managers of resources in the state, while also appreciating our public servants for your continuous support towards the building and future together agenda of this administration. Your diligence and prudence in management have significantly contributed to the efficient and effective functioning of the state government and equally resulted in an enhanced revenue capacity of the state. The state government recognizes and values your contributions, and in return is committed to supporting you in your roles at all times. I want to encourage us to continue to uphold these high standards and remain steadfast in our commitment to excellence. Participants of this training, I enjoy you to know that efficient management of public resources starts with efficient management of human resources to foster social cohesion and unlock the potential of our workforce. It is therefore expected that we shall make good use of this opportunity to relearn, and bring about the desired perfection in the management of resources at your various MDAs. I urge you to continue to maximize this growth avenue by being fully involved in the training sessions and apply lessons learned to your daily operations so as to involve a public service where ethics are adhered to and standards become the order of the day.
In our welcome address, the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Establishment and Training, Mrs. Lydia Fajumbo, says the training will equip participants with knowledge and skills needed to ensure transparency and accountability in their dealings.
As we all know, part of the responsibilities of this bureau is to ensure that establishment standards are maintained, identify the training needs, and organize necessary trainings in the public service to fill the gaps. The bureau has continued to carefully plan various programs to ensure that all classes of staff are catered for in ways that improve efficiency and effectiveness in the service delivery. Today's training will be theme efficient management of public resources, especially for heads of departments in NDAs. The training aims to equip us with knowledge, skills, as well as best practices, ensuring transparency and accountability for effective and efficient management of public resources. It is important to remind ourselves that it is mandatory for every public servant to acquire the required skills for efficient service delivery. As managers of scarce government resources, therefore, we must regularly, in this world of war, update our knowledge of the rules and regulations guiding our operation. To achieve the objective of the training, the resource persons have been carefully selected based on practical experiences and wealth of knowledge in accounting, auditing, and management. We are expectant that they will deliver top-class training that will positively impact the participants and in turn the service. It is also our hope that we will all make use of this knowledge derived from the training for optimal performance in our official duties and responsibilities.
Several goodwill messages poured in from stakeholders at the event.
This is one of the things and areas that will definitely assist you in your journey as you travel through the civil service of Ogun State. Most of us may not be very conscious of this, but let us say that it is very, very keen and a very highly competitive situation now. In the past, it was easier to become a permanent secretary, to become a director, than the present situation. We have too many people that have equipped themselves with the requirements of the duties and schedules, and that presupposes that you must have something that will give you an edge over your other colleagues. And that is why I want to encourage you that don't take trainings like this with levity. The little thing you gain here may be your advantage over others. What you do tomorrow, today, is a reference point for tomorrow. And at your duty post too, everybody is looking up to you.
Training is very good. Maybe that's why Henry Ford said, anyone who stops learning is old. Whether at 20 or at 80. But anyone who continues to learn remains young. So you are going to be younger after this training. I will not fail to say the opportunity that training provides for us Austin Scott says, the essence of training is to allow error without consequences. Whatever questions we are going to ask here today will not be taken against you. But if you get to your table and then make the error, or not ask that question here, and you now go to make mistakes, then there will be consequences. That is why training is organized. That is why monies are released. That is why His Excellency gave approval for this, so that there will not be errors and consequences.
I have looked at part of what we are going to do at this training, and it interests me when I saw that they paid so much attention about ICT. For most of the people in this group, we are going to need some of those skills that they are going to teach us in that ICT. The head of service has recently released a circular which will also seek to test some of your abilities, and ICT is one of them. I would urge you to please take note of most of those things that they are going to teach you today. There is another training which is going to come very soon, but they just felt that the first training has to be to this particular set of people in this group. Because if you are going to bring about change in the state civil service, all the people here, you have been specially selected to drive this change.
Part of my remark will be to encourage you to supervise your subordinates very well, especially in the area where my interest is mostly let me put it that way. Retirement of all expenditure in your department and ministry. You should always supervise your subordinates. You can't go to the market and buy anything by yourself, but you must delegate one or two people. You should always have documentary evidence and follow all the rule of public procurement law in repaying all those expenses.
People who shortlisted you know the reason why you are shortlisted. First and not next. Sometimes your employer looks at you and feel you are doing excellently well. Then what can we do so that you can even do more than excellent? And sometimes it could be like the fact that, oh, we have observed this gap, and that's what people in training will always look at, where there's a training gap. And they will say, well, these mistakes have come, these errors have come, but I think it's our fault. We take that as a fault. We are the ones who have not provided the required training. And so let us provide the required training. And now you have been shortlisted to be part of this training.
Delivering a paper on documentation for effective management of public resources, Mr. Mofe Adeli says it is appropriate for public officers to keep records as the consequences may be severe.
There are consequences of not keeping proper records. Consequences. That is, if I don't keep records, if I don't keep proper records, what I'm expected to do, if I don't do it, what are the effects, what are the consequences? As me, as a person, as a civil servant or public servant, I will redirect. As any officer found wanting on his or her duty will be queried by the Attorney General, and if the query is not responded to within this specified period, Section 17 of the Audit Law 2022 will be applicable. The next thing we need to do is to query. Can you explain this? Can you explain this? Can you explain this? Now, I said, without prejudice to any other provisions of this law, every person who fails or refuses to reply to an audit query observations within the specified period in the audit query or reasonable time thereafter shall have his emoluments and allowances returned. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, you put in a report and it will become a query. You refuse to answer the query within a specified period of times. Your emoluments and your allowances will be stopped.
Another speaker, Dr. Mistura Alaro, who spoke on ICT skills for effective management, highlighted the collaborative tools useful for performing day-to-day tasks in the office.
For instance, we want to give out, let's say, promotion letters, and I know that there are thousands of people that want to give this one to, and in most cases, they are just few, personalized data in this data. It will be like it's going to be the same content, maybe the name, the cadre, or department that will change. In most cases, what we see our secretaries doing is that when they type one letter, they start copying, pasting, and be editing the names, and so you have several pages of these documents. But with these two name match, we're going to type just one letter, and it can serve several recipients. We can send this to so many people. So far, the content is for them, is to address them. So what we change, like the name, maybe the post, for instance, maybe it has to be promotion letter. It could be any letter, even envelopes. If you want to address envelope, we don't have to be copying, pasting, and be changing this and that. What we need to do is to just get the list in maybe a table or an Excel sheet, or we know about access might be somehow advanced for us, but Excel is something handy that some of us have been interacting with, just like a table. So the contents that we're changing is what we have. We're going to have that in the table, which at times maybe we could have gotten that from several other documents that we have been handling.
Some of the participants at the training had this to say.
Resource management is one of the key parameters in the service. And if you have the resources that we say they are not adequate, there should be a way to manage it. And the best way to do that is to know how to do it properly. And that's why we are here today. And my experience is that at the end of the day, by the time we are done here, then definitely we are equipped on the best way to manage resources effectively and efficiently, not just resource management. This, I believe, should be the first step to it. Training is supposed to be a continual thing. So once they are done with this, so they should just take us through the next stages of it, so that at the end of the day, I will be seen as very equipped to deliver the service for the state.
Actually, I'm very opportune to be here this morning to attend the efficient training on public resources. Training is a dose that everybody needs, so that if you take it, you'll be looking younger, more active, more proactive, more reasonable in your doing. So being in a place of a training is a great opportunity, and it adds value to our work.
Training like this is actually to build the capacity of a public servant. Capacity in the sense that to enable us to perform efficiently in the work that we do. We are talking about public resources in this instance. Talking of resources like material resources, men, money, and then capital. Is to train us how to deploy those financial resources to where they are meant to be deployed.
This program is going to have impact on my productivity, and I hope by the end of the day, by the time I go back to my office, I will apply whatever we have been taught here to the betterment of our services, and it will surely enhance service delivery at the end of the day, and then improve my productivity also.
The Governor Dapo Abiodun's feat in training and retraining of officers in the public service is a testament to his commitment at building a world-class workforce in Ogun State. By investing in the development of its workforce, Governor Abiodun is setting a new standard for excellence in public service delivery and positioning Ogun State as a leader in the field of training and development. With his visionary approach and dedication to the professional growth of public officers, Governor Abiodun is paving the way for a brighter future for the people of Ogun State. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.